Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and you guys remember the Great Tarkir mistake, which was 3 colors plus fetch lands. It was pretty damn obvious why they were losing players and losing attendance at F&M back when Tarkir was big. $1,000 decks? And if you weren't running one of the top decks, you were going to lose. That was one of the few times where you either net decked or you lost. It was that big of a power difference. I mean, you can't take the flexibility of 3 colors, which is already pretty nuts, and then mix it with 2 option and then 2 out of 4 option spells. You know, like the Dragon Lord things and then the Charm things or whatever the hell. It's just too many decks were too consistent, they were too powerful, they could do too many things and handle too many things and respond to too many things. So, $1,000 price tag and OP as balls decks. It was plain as day why nobody was playing Standard back then. So, right now nobody's showing up to F&M, the attendance is terrible, and Wizards is scrambling to make any semblance of money. Why is it? Well, people have had their theories, so I'm going to throw out all the theories, plus just add in what I think is the real reason. Well, it's actually multiple reasons. You know, looking at my notes, I could have made this a top 10 list, so I'm just going to say numbers. They're not in any particular order. Reason number 1, the packs are completely worthless. The EV of Kaladesh is a joke, the cards went down the toilet, and unless you win one of the masterpieces, which is never going to happen, you are screwed. I mean, you go to F&M, you win a couple packs, and none of them contain anything vaguely worth anything. Now, my LGS lets us pick. In fact, I pulled an Eldritch Moon pack as a prize, and got a Liliana in it. That was actually last night with my Cyborgs deck. It came in 4th place. By the way, the deck is kind of annoying and I kind of hate it. So the reasoning behind, oh, the prizes suck, only applies if they actually force you to pull Kaladesh. On the exact same topic, though, the promos are terrible. They just announced one in February. It's crap. They're all completely worthless cards. Now, I like alternate arts because they're just really rare and, hard to find, and they look cool, and people see them and sometimes they're impressed. Usually they're just like, oh, that was that promo. I just like them because they're unique and rare. Same reason that I collect misprints. But I tell you what, I'd like it even more if it was like a $5 to $10 card. I mean, come on. Like, I'd want to keep it because I want to keep it. But if I had to sell it or trade it, or somebody else really wanted it and it was like a red card because I never play red, okay, then I got some value. I got some trade value. There you go. It is suspected that people are really not showing up because the promos aren't worth much, because in some cases you've got about a 50-50 chance of getting one. So you go for a whole month, you're going to end up with a stack of them, probably. So if they aren't worth anything and you're not interested in them as a collectible, then one more reason not to show up to F&M. And that's what I'm kind of getting at. It's not one reason, it's a whole bunch of reasons. Now, the other thing is, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but with all the color fixing, 3-color decks are kind of back, and they can do everything. I mean, we've got removal mixed with boost, mixed with like ambush, mixed with really good creatures. Okay, so the power level of Standard is really high. No surprise, I don't like that. I like low power, I like sealed, I like, utilizing kind of lesser second-rate creatures. I mean, that's, fun to me for some reason. Everybody playing the same 3 decks, that's not fun. And I think everybody agrees, that isn't fun. No matter what your opinion is on net decking and playing to win and running a, quote, top deck, playing the same deck over and over and over and against the same deck over and over, it's just stupid, repetitive, and annoying. Unfortunately, that's what we've got right now. I mean, there was so many open-ended cards. I mean, it is the polar opposite of Eldritch Moon and Shadows over Innistrad, where it was, I'm playing Madness, I'm playing Vampires, I'm playing Werewolves, I'm playing Spirits. That's it. You really couldn't build a whole lot more than that unless you went back to BFZ. Even with BFZ and OGW, it's like, oh, I'm playing Eldrazi, I'm playing Allies. There wasn't a whole lot more than that, although there were some kind of, fringy decks, but it was pretty tribal heavy. I didn't like that whole on-rails thing where it's like, pick one of the 6 decks and play them and that's it. I mean, that's just stupid. I like deck building. But now, it's so stupidly wide open that people are coming up with OP as balls decks. And if you look at the top couple decks, they are insane. I mean, they are like modern competitive. Playing Standard right now does not feel like Standard. It feels like Modern. And I've played a lot of Modern, I've played a lot of Standard. Theros felt like Standard, okay? You could build Devotion anything, throw anything in there, do anything. There's 5 different color options and then different sub-decks from there. Then you had like Constellation with it and Bestow. I mean, people were coming up with all kinds of weird stuff, and it was very, very varied. And, yeah, there was the top couple decks, but they weren't that far ahead of pretty much anything else you could come up with. Right now, though, Panharmonicon is broken. Energy is broken because of Panharmonicon. The 3-color system, the color fixing with Aether Hub, that's broken as hell. Doubling the ETB effects and then the ability to consistently scry or draw for Panharmonicon or just outright fetch it, that is too powerful. So, like I said, just look at the top couple decks, the ones that keep winning tournaments. They just cannot be competed with. They're just unfair do-it-all decks that really resemble Modern. Anytime somebody comes up with a cool deck idea, like, I'm going to do white-black life drain away, or I'm going to do blue-black like delirium artifacts or something like that. No, you're not, because you're going to get completely obliterated by the other decks. Luckily, the people at my local gaming store are playing kind of mid-level stuff. They're still playing like white-blue spirits, maybe some werewolves I saw. Somebody's playing the Pommeler deck, but that's honestly kind of not that great of a deck. It is with Trample and Double Strike, which is really annoying, but kind of a one-trick pony, susceptible to interference, obviously. So nobody's playing this just nuts stuff like the Dynavolt Tower Super Shock, where it's basically Liliana of the Veil. Let's be honest. You bring out a creature, they blow it up. You don't bring out a creature, they blow you up. No matter what you do, you cannot recover once those are on the field. Oh, and thanks to Panharmonicon, they have unlimited energy. Honestly, right now, I cannot stand playing on X-Mage because everybody's playing those stupid decks. It's usually 50% net deckers who have nothing better to do with their time, that just their whole entire life and self-value that they give themselves is built off of how many wins they get on X-Mage. So they go download the biggest, baddest deck and then play it and then just act like a complete ass every time they win. And then they sit on there for like 6 hours straight every day and just beat people with it. And that makes them feel special, apparently. And then there's a lot more mature people that just use X-Mage to try all kinds of wacky decks. They're deck builders, Right now, though, it's about 80% net deckers. All the deck builders just gave up and said, screw it. They're just playing against the AI or just leaving MTG completely. There's no point. We can't compete with decks like that. What the hell's the point? I mean, I have one deck that just crushes everything in its path, Gravity Bomb, but I'm as big of a dick as the net deckers if I bring it to F&M or if I play it on X-Mage. I know if I play it on X-Mage, I'm going to get 75 to 95% wins. I mean, I know that. That's what I've been doing. But that's not fun for me. I like designing decks. So in general, if you like designing new decks, coming up with cool ideas, and like I said, there's universal cards. There's, this is duplicated. Search out whatever you want. Drop out whatever you want. Bring something back from the graveyard. It's all open-ended, so you can take the pieces and put them together however you want into 1,000 different decks that are actually competitive. Except they're not, because they're getting stomped by these OP as balls decks that they let go with, like Smuggler's Copter. Any deck with Smuggler's Copter in it is too powerful. Same with Panharmonicon, and I'd even kind of say Dynavolt, but that kind of goes hand in hand. They screwed up printing those 3 cards. They are too powerful. Now, in case you live under a rock, new players, on the whole, if you gave them like an exit poll as they're exiting Magic the Gathering, every study that's ever been done, everybody who's ever asked a bunch of people, everybody who's ever posted about it on a forum agrees they are leaving the game because of net deckers. It's not money. Well, it's kind of money because, net deckers money. It's either dickish players or people playing with net decks and the implied, like, you have to net deck or you'll lose. Now, certain other sets, that was not true. Tarkir, yeah, that was true. And welcome to Kaladesh, where if you're not net decking, you lose. With the exception of 2 of my decks that are unstoppable. Anytime you push away the new players, you're not going to replace the people who finally stop playing for one reason or another. So yeah, attendance is dying. If you have 0 chance of winning, why show up, especially if you're new and you're just a worse player in general because of it? Oh yeah, wasn't I supposed to be numbering these? Okay, number, 5? Wizards looks like a bunch of greedy idiots. Now, not everybody, pays close attention to everything that Wizards releases, but some people read all the announcements in their Facebook page, Twitter, whatever else, and they're getting the impression, with all the crap they've pulled lately, that they're greedy, they're liars, they're completely dishonest, and they're a bunch of liberal douchebags. That's the overall PR vibe that everybody has about their company right now. So why support it? Why have anything to do with that? I mean, yeah, the company and the game are 2 separate things in most people's opinion, even mine. But anytime you buy a product, you're supporting them, and some people just don't want to do that. Reason number 6-ish. Commander decks just came out. People are probably honestly just playing Commander, not Standard. Reason number 6B. A whole bunch of other crap just came out. Maybe people are playing that, or they're just plain sick of spending money on set after set after set after set. I am way the hell too lazy to do the math, but I think a new set came out every 3 weeks. Between From the Vault, Conspiracy, EMA again, Eldritch Moon, and Kaladesh, I think every 3 weeks we had a new set. That is so unbelievably stupid. Nobody has that much money. Oh, I forgot to mention Commander. They were in there too. Maybe it's every 2 weeks. Reason number 7. It now costs approximately double or more, if you like to draft, to play MTGO. So some people quit that completely, and along with it, they probably quit paper too. If you're not playing one, you might not play the other. I mean, sometimes you move out of online and then play more local because that's the only place you can play now, but sometimes people just say screw the whole thing and go play Hearthstone. Reason number 8, the popularity of Pokemon. Everybody's hearing about the giant explosion of Pokemon, and then you've got the whole Pokemon Go thing, then you got the new Pokemon Sun and Moon, and then a couple really cool, valuable, like the big, like the original reprint set, the evolutions that just came out in Pokemon. It's a whole bunch of reasons to take a look at Pokemon. Oh, and plus, I would think from what I've seen that Pokemon in general is a lot cheaper to play, plus you got the whole digital code thing. It just looks like a more attractive option if people really wanted to make the switch. I would say that the gameplay in Pokemon is a lot dumber and less complicated, and to me then less fun than Magic, and some people might still prefer it, but you know a couple people are going to leave because Pokemon just looks like a better option. I would say it's mostly people who have played multiple trading card games in the past, not people who just play Magic and that's it. And number whatever we're on right now. People are seeing the distribution of products as super crooked. You don't have to be some big distributor single sellers to hear what the hell's going on with all kinds of sets. Oh, Plane Chase Anthology is going to be WPN only? Ooh, that means restricted amounts and it's going to be super limited and nobody can get their hands on it. Yeah, go to eBay. Does that look like it's the case on eBay? No, people who really should not have their hands on Plane Chase Anthology have their hands on Plane Chase Anthology. Why? Because the WPN distribution system is a load of crap and dumb distributors are crooked as hell. To be perfectly honest, those are the 2 reasons. Oh, and if I had to add a third reason, some WPN locations are now, with the new program, allowed to sell their products online. There are very strict restrictions, but it's at least you know you won't get caught, even if you don't really stick to their exact, requirements. I don't want to get way into it because it'll just piss you guys off, but basically, way too much product is showing up online. Not enough is showing up at your local gaming store. Your local gaming store might be getting some and then hoarding it, not selling it. Or they got screwed. They didn't get any because they don't use 6 different distributors and their distributor backstabbed them so that they can give it to somebody else who's vaguely even a WPN location. That is exactly what happened with a few of the specific sets that just came out. So yeah, people are getting kind of pissed about the distribution path. If you know that somewhere in the chain, your product that you wanted to buy got lost and your store didn't get enough, so now you didn't get enough, that's not good. It's enough to make you quit the game and just say, I'm going to play something else where the supply is steady. Reason number 127. It's Christmas season. People spent their money on other stuff, like gifts. Or if you're a small business owner like me and you didn't pay in quarterly anything to the IRS, you know that you're about to get pounded with a giant tax bill very, very, very shortly. So that's another one of the reasons that I cut my Aether Revolt order. Reason number 1968. People just really don't like energy as a mechanic. Now, I disagree with this one. I kind of like it. I mean, it doesn't work. It's broken because of Panharmonicon. But other than that, it's pretty cool. I like generating mana through actions that might typically generate mana and then having it available to spend between turns instead of clearing out of your mana pool. I thought it was cool when I saw it. I still think it's cool even playing it. It's just a couple cards broke it, and now it's OP as balls. So if we take those 10,000 or so issues that I just mentioned and add them all together and just say, okay, every single one lost 1% or maybe 2%, maybe 3% of their customer base. I don't know if any of those are true. Honestly, I doubt it would be that even across the board, but I think between all of them, I mean, just think about who you know who recently stopped playing and ask them why. I guarantee it's one of the reasons I just said. You add them all together and you get a lot of lost customers, a lot of pissed off people leaving the game possibly for good. I think that when they roll out Magic Digital next, they're probably going to have a huge surge in popularity if they do it right and if it functions correctly, which nothing they've ever released digitally meets that description. But even just digital codes in general, redemption codes, they are going to gain so many customers, it's going to be unbelievable. And then they can stop doing stupid stuff to screw over their customer base and piss us all off and stop lying to us to make more money. They'll be making plenty of money off just the new platform. But if it sucks and everybody hates it and it's a giant failure, that's it. They're going to lose 50% of the customers easily, maybe more. I say that because that's how many they picked up in the last 3 years, allegedly. So when they're that recent and they're not long-time hardcore fans, yeah, they're gone. So maybe Wizards should clean this up. They should stop doing stupid stuff. Everything they do makes sense with their own little logic. You know, it's pretty apparent, but everything they do also completely loses them customers, loses them any kind of, I don't know, what do you call that, corporate faithfulness or confidence or whatever? Customer confidence, I guess you could say. And just what they're coming out with, how often, the money, the design, how they're acting, what they're saying, everything. Everything needs to be cleaned up at this point. They're just like finding brave new ways to screw up. I think that they're having like a little bet with Apple to see who can make the most varied, unbelievably large mistakes. By the way, Apple is still winning. Although, mega spoilers, I did just hear a rumor that they're removing the headphone port from Aether Revolt. I mean, that's the last straw for me. I'm out. I'm changing it to Desolator Yu-Gi-Oh! So what do you guys think? Have you quit playing Magic but for some reason still watch my channel? Which you wouldn't believe how many people that describes for some strange reason. Oh, if that's you, look up a little something called Desolator Gaming. Or are you like, nah, none of these things bother me. I'm going to play Magic for life because Magic is awesome and my friends are awesome, my local gaming store is awesome, so I don't care about any of these things. Well, or at least not enough to quit. I'd love to hear what you think, and I will see you guys next video.